Hey everybody, it's Marshall here. This is my Gotham Season 2 Episode 15 review rundown, or maybe 16. I have no idea. This is going to be my review and rundown for the newest episode of Gotham. Oh my gosh, this episode was so good. Like, this episode was so great that I'm thinking that I was reading a comic book throughout the whole episode. Like, it was like they ripped it out, like, of the comics, of the animated series, and just put it into live action. It was so amazingly done. It was so awesome to see, like, Riddler in action, or I guess it would be Enigma at this point. Like, not really Riddler level, but Enigma level. And, like, it was so crazy what happened at the end with the big plot twist. So we're gonna run through all of it, so let's get started. From biggest story to little story. Let's go. Number 1, we got Enigma up to no good. Riddler, what the heck? Edward Nygma is up to no good against Jim Gordon. So he has this masterful plan, and I didn't see any of it coming. I had no idea where this was going. I thought, is he just committing crimes now? Is there something, like, he's talking about this plan with Jim Gordon, with Penguin, so where is that headed? But he basically did this whole art heist, which played into the bomb, which played into the crowbar, which landed into Pinckney, which landed to Gordon being arrested. And it was craziness. But it really felt like I was reading a comic with the Riddler and Batman. Or, well, maybe, like, not Batman exactly, but Riddler and Jim Gordon. It really felt like I was reading a comic book, and I liked that about it. Like, it felt like a true Gotham, or a true Batman story, basically. And I really liked that. Like, some of the episodes that they've done big villains, like Firefly and Mr. Freeze, and have already made them to Firefly and Mr. Freeze have already made these villains established, doesn't feel right to me. I feel like things like this, we don't have the Riddler yet, but we have Edward Enigma right now, right? It's kind of like he's not Riddler, but he's not Riddler also, which is what Gotham's supposed to be. It's before these people become villains. So when they do Firefly and Mr. Freeze, it's cool and it's awesome to see them, right? But it's like, they're not supposed to be them just yet. Just yet. But I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying it's really cool when they do things like this, where it's like they're not exactly that villain, but this is like the stages of their career as a villain. So I really like that. I really like what they did with it. But it was nice to see that Ed kind of challenged him with these riddles, and kind of had the whole suit thing going on, like his kind of like his pre-Riddler suit, like his Enigma, suit and tie. The only thing I didn't like about it is that when, like, Corey Michael Smith, and I don't know if this is his fault or it's just how it's written, but whenever he, like, walked up to Gordon and talked to him through this whole episode, he was, like, smiling the whole time and complimenting Gordon. I was like, he's a little, like, if I was Gordon, I'd probably have figured it out already. And then another thing, later on when Gordon's caught, and he's, like, sitting at the table, like, being interrogated by Barnes, and then Gordon literally says, the crowbar went through forensics. Who is the only forensic scientist in the whole police station? Nygma. Why didn't they question him or anything? Like, they just arrested Jim out of nothing. I know it seems bad, right? But it's like, it's innocent till proven guilty, right? So it's like, they didn't even think to question Ed at all. And the crowbar didn't stay locked up in GCPD where no one could get it. That seems a little hard to believe to me. I feel like it's like, what? You can't do that. You can't just, like, slam Gordon away. You can't just, like, hang him to dry and not question Riddler. Like, not question Ed at all about the crowbar. That's his job. Like, what? That's weird. But other than that, it was awesome to see that. Now let's move on to the next biggest story. And then we're going to talk about what happened at the end of Barnes and all that stuff, and where I think it's going to be headed for the rest of the season. But let's talk about some other stories. So number two is Penguin meeting his father. Oh, it was so good. So in the last episode, we saw that Penguin got out. In this episode, we see that he's, like, kind of, like, making the rounds with all the people he knows, like with Gilzine and Tabitha, and he got tarred and feathered for some odd reason. Then with Nygma, talking to him about the, about Jim Gordon and his past days as a criminal. And then we get full circle to where he finds out, that this guy, played by Pee Wee Herman, is his father. And I thought that was really cool. And so it's going to lead into this bigger story, I can tell you. Because then they talk about how him and his mom met. And then we also get to see some non-blood relatives of Penguin's family. As Penguin's dad has some non-blood relatives. And he says in the teaser for next week, this is my first blood relative that I've had. So, yeah, it was really cool to see that they did that. But, did you guys see at the end of the episode where they were, like, giving a dirty look behind Penguin's back? I definitely think there's going to be something going on. Now, I know that one of the family members, which I think is the younger girl in that family, is going to like Penguin, is going to get down with him, if you know what I mean. So, something's going to happen. I don't know. It's going to be weird. We're going to have to wait till next week. I hope they do an episode like this next week. But let's get into story number 3. Number 3, Bruce, Selena, Ivy versus Gilzine's nephew, Sonny. I loved this. I love that, actually, Ivy was in this episode because they did some serious character development with Ivy. I mean, that was fantastic. Like when you walked in and she was just like, hey, you know, I'm watering these plants. It's like that shows the Mother Nature side of Ivy, because she's just like, she's a plant goddess basically. She loves plants. She loves plant life. She's connected to them. When she gets her powers, if you step on a flower, she'll feel it. Like, she'll feel how the pain through her plants. So we need to bring out that side of her. We saw a little bit in episode 1 of season 1 when she was like with all those plants in the window, but we never saw any more plants at all. She was just a street kid. So I'm liking how she's doing these mushrooms. I really like it. It's really cool. And she's not creepy at all either anymore. She's just like regular, right? She pulled a joke. She was like immediate, oh sorry, there's a doorbell. But she was like immediate death. And then it was like, ha 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 joke. I loved it. I loved what Ivy with Selena and Bruce. I thought it was really fantastic. And then Bruce getting up there, beating up what's-his-face, or Sonny anyway, and then like him being like you're a coward, and beating him up. That was fantastic as well. Really well done. I really liked it. And then one of the things I didn't like though is when they played the underdog music, right? I mean, that was kind of like, Bruce is not an underdog exactly, maybe in this moment, but not exactly, and that kind of just like overshadowed it a little bit. I would have liked it if they did like a dark Batman tone set for the music, for the background music, then got him up and then like started punching out Sonny. But I'm not going to nitpick at the music. It was still pretty good. It was still a fun moment. And so then they end up moving on. Moving on, back full circle around with what's going on with Jim. So Jim is arrested, unfortunately. He's put in jail. I thought this was crazy. And we jump ahead 4 weeks. That's why Bruce looks different. Like if you guys were wondering, they jumped ahead 4 weeks after his beating. But then after that, like Jim was in jail and like Marina Bachman, oh my gosh, she looks so pregnant. And I love it because she's like, this is real world stuff. Because she's actually pregnant with Ben McKenzie in real life, which makes it even more better with this scene where she's in like she's like in front of the bars being like, Jim, we gotta overcome this. This is a baby up in here. And then Jim's like, nah, you gotta move on, girl. And I'm just like, if Ryan Reynolds guest stars, that's it. It's over. No, but seriously, that was hilarious. But anyway, it was really nice to see this scene because it's like, are you saying this in real life or are you saying this in the show? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, is your character doing this to Gordon or are you doing this to Ben? Like, let's be real here. Overall, I love this episode. It's like I was reading a comic book. It's like teared out of the comics and the animated series just put in your face. It's awesome. So what did you guys think of the episode? Comment down below. Links up there to my other Gotham videos. Links in there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and Sims channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe those. Other than that, like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.